Hello Stampers, Kate here again with another card for you from Stampin' Up! Materials or products or whatever you want to call it. I am using again today the framed florets bundle. This is part of a suite that is a sneak peek at the new mini catalog that's going to be coming out going live January 4th. If you're one of my current customers, I've already put you in my mailing selector. If you're not a current customer and you would like to be, let me know and I'll be happy to make sure you get a catalog as soon as they're available. This is the bundle with the stamps and with the dies. You can see I cover my cases with my own covers because I can't read that tiny print that's on the back of the frames. And so I do my own and I color code them. So the new mini is going to be red this year. So that's the color that way when I look up on my shelf where all my stamps are at, I know which ones are the most current sets, and I try to stay into the current sets as much as I can. I don't very often save or keep retired sets. I usually sell them, and if you're interested in what I have for sale beginning in January when the catalog has expired, let me know in the comments below and I'll add you to that list as well. Okay, so this is the set we're going to be using, as well as the fitting Florets DSP. Here's my info up here. You can do a print screen and print this out on your printer, or you can stop the play and see the list and write down what you need to know as we go through making the card. This is the card that I'm making today, and with a slight variation. So this one, these are raised and this part is raised and the flowers are flat. The one I'm going to make today, I'm going to make all of these little pieces flat and raise just the flowers, and then we'll compare them and you can decide which one you like. So let's get started. You've got to have a basic white thick card base. That's going to be 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 to make a side fold A2 greeting card, just like that. Then you're going to need a small piece. This is a piece of regular basic white, and it is the one that is 3 and 7. No, this one is 3 by 4, and I just cut a piece to do the stamping. I stamped the flower cluster and the 2 individual flowers, and I also stamped the leaves, which I already have done and cut out. But I wanted to show you. And what I did is I embossed these with copper embossing powder, and you might want to, I don't know if copper is actually still available in the catalog. I know in their basics it was white and black, and I forget the other one. And then they had a metallics, which was silver and gold, and I think it might have been copper. Anyway, I had some copper, so that's what I used. Gold would work perfectly fine as well. I did want to remind you that the Embossing Editions toolkit is available in the current mini until the end of December. It comes with the tray. It comes with a tray and an embossing buddy. I highly recommend it. This is mine. They used to sell these years ago, and then they quit selling them for a while, and they've brought it back. I have always had mine. I have always kept mine. It works beautiful for putting your piece in and doing your powder over, because then there's the spout in the end that you can get it back into your cup. I highly recommend it, and so I encourage you to go look at that. It's on page 83 of the current mini catalog. Okay, and of course you need a heat tool and that to melt the embossing powder. I have already embossed and colored. The colors I used are polished pink light for the flowers, dark soft succulent and dark mint macaron for the leaves, and dark so saffron for the centers. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to show you, this is how I do my die cuts. I use washi tape because it peels up without damaging the paper or the design, and it holds things in place so nicely. And so I wanted to show you that, and I'm going to run it through. So go off screen for a moment and we will get those cut out. And there they are. and I'll just put that aside, put those away later. Now for this design here, I cut 6 of the dark evening evergreen cardstock. They're 1/2-inch squares, and I cut 6 of them. And then from the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper, it's the evening evergreen plaid, and of those I cut 8 1/2-inch squares. Okay, so I've got those all set. Then I have another piece, 2 more pieces actually. I have this piece. This is evening evergreen cardstock. It is cut 4 1/4, so it's going to go the full width of the card side to side by 3 1/2 inches tall, and it's going to end up on the front of the card as well. But before I do that, I am going to cut out this die from the center, and I'm just going to center it on there. I'm going to get me another piece of washi tape, and I'm just going to center it on here as best I can. That's looking pretty good right there. So we'll just tape that in place, and I will run it through. Now this is a little bit tricky what I'm going to show you here. Well, just a little trick I did. When you use this die, it cuts out this and this separate from each other. I want them to stay together like this, like I did on the front of the card here. Let me hold it up so you can see it better. See how I left it in there? Okay, so let me show you how I did that. I took a piece of basic white cardstock. This piece is 3 7/8 by 3 1/4. So it's 3 7/8 this way, 3 1/4 this way. Then I took my sentiment and I stamped it and embossed it right in the middle. And I did that knowing that I wanted it to fit within this frame. So I just basically put this on here so that it was centered. And then I stamped with my Versamark, and then I embossed it. And so here it is. Now what I am going to do is take my piece, this piece, and I'm going to put it on here like this with this on the back. Okay, so I'm going to run my glue around this oval, and I'm just going to use my liquid glue pen to do that. And I'm just going to run it right next to the edge of the oval all the way around. And so this white piece is cut just a slightly smaller because I don't want it to show, but I want it to be there. And I'll tell you why I did that. I could have put this embossing right on the card, but when you heat set it, it has a tendency to want to warp the base, and I didn't want to deal with that. So since I was laying it flat and not going to raise it up, I just put it on a separate piece. Plus, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just so long as it doesn't show, okay? Plus, then I can put this piece in here like this, and I'm going to run the bead on this all the way around right here inside this oval. So I've got glue all around, and then I'm going to put this in here until it, and because this is that liquid glue, it's not sticky right away, so you've got time to get it in place so that it lays down nicely in place. There we go. I'm going to hold it down for just a minute. You don't get to watch till it's dry. No, there. So I did it, and that gets that piece back in there that I wanted, and this holds it in place. Isn't that cool? So anyway, little trick that I thought you might use. We'll throw that oval over there in my scrap pile for future use. Okay, so that's how I did my front piece. And like I said, this time on the first card I raised it up. On this card I'm going to leave it flat. So we will just get our Stampin' Seal adhesive, and we will put some of that on here. Put some in the middle. And this is when your grid paper can also come in pretty handy. So this card, if I count down 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, this can line up with that fourth line on that side. And then I will know 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will know that when I lay that down and bring it over to this side, it will be even. And it's 4 from the bottom as well. And then I know I've got it perfectly spaced top to bottom. So there's the piece that's laying flat. Now these pieces, when I did it on the first card, I put dimensionals on the back of each one of them, and so they're raised. You can kind of see that there. But this time I want them flat, so this is going to be fun. It's a little bit tricky to get the Stampin' Seal on a little tiny piece like that. So I think what I'm going to do is get out my glue dots and just use glue dots on it. So you get to see me experiment a little bit here. We'll get my pokey tool, there it is. And we'll just put a dot on the back of each of those. I should have done some of these beforehand, then you wouldn't have to watch me doing each and every one of them, but I didn't. So we can talk about something else while I'm doing that. I try to bring you some kind of an idea of how to use your things differently, your tools and things. That's why I wanted to show you that how to make that die piece fit back in like you like, if you'd like to do it. I hope you appreciate that. I know I do when I can learn new ways to use my tools. So there's those. Now let's do these. And we'll hope that they lay down nicely. Let's get these. Yeah, here's see what I'm doing. I have to look up at my monitor every once in a while because I'm afraid I might get off kilter with my monitor. Let's try something different here. Let's put these on here like this. Might be a little bit quicker way to do it. Okay. That looks like it'd be a lot easier. And then I just laid them on here. And there's not, I can't really describe. You're just going to have to kind of look at it and see. But I kind of overlapped them a little bit. They're square, so it shouldn't matter which direction. I did kind of try to follow the plaid just a little bit. And I don't know, I didn't seem to have any trouble getting it all to kind of line up at the end of things. Let's hope that I'm that fortunate again. I have been known to have to pick them up and resituate them, but it looks like I lucked out pretty good. So there's the bottom section. I'm supposed to have 4 of these, and I'd only see 3. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that's easy fix. So what I did for the idea for this card is I keep an archive, picture archive of all the cards I've ever made. And so I have many years worth of cards. And I needed some inspiration. So I went back into my archives and I go, oh, I remember making a card like that. Let's go see what that looks like. And I pulled it up and thought, yeah, let's try that with a new stamp set. at that, and I'm not sure what I did with that other square, so here we go. 1/2-inch square. Pull out my Stampin' trimmer here, and we will make one more. Like I said, I thought I had 4, but sometimes they stick to each other or something. Okay, one more glue dot. And, oops, I was going this way. And voila. There it is. Awesome, I'm liking it. Okay, then I just, like I said, I'm going to put these on here with dimensionals. So we'll get my dimensionals out. And we'll get those peeled off. And this one, I want the leaves to kind of come outside of the design, and it's just a matter of placing it so that it doesn't cover up the design. And then this flower can go up here like that, and this flower can go next door to it. It's got a dimensional as well. I'm just kind of tucking it so it gives it a little bit of dimension. And then we've got the leaves, and I think I'm going to have to use minis on those. Let me get out my minis. Here they are. Get that peeled off. And let's put one more on there. I just there we go. And I'm going to tuck them under there just like this. Again, just making sure that I get it where it doesn't, okay, there we go. So it doesn't cover up my words. And there is card number, got a little something on there. There it goes. There's the card I made. Now this is the variation where these were laid flat. And this is the one where they were raised up. And here I raised the flowers, on here I put the flowers on flat, but you'll have to tell me what you think. I think that maybe these needed to be, the glue dots were okay, it made it quick for the video, but you might want to actually try and get some tape on there, or maybe use your liquid glue and put liquid glue on the back of them so there won't be edges peeling up. But I like it. I think it turned out very cute. I hope you liked it too. And I thank you for stopping by today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. I appreciate all of you, and I do appreciate comments. When you comment, it helps make my page get shared more, and so it brings me more people that like to watch what I do. And I just love to share what I do. So, you know, share my thing on your blogs if you have one, and invite them to come and see my stuff. And hopefully you've come away with something you can use that'll inspire you in your card making today. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.